You mentioned how when you were a little kid, you were an indoor kid, as to use a phrase, a term my son uses, I'm an indoor kid, Dad. And you wouldn't, try to shoo you out, you wouldn't go, but how you particularly like to stay indoors if there was a group of women who's going to be visiting your house, and they started telling their stories, and you said how you would, I guess, try to make yourself inconspicuous and maybe go in a corner so you could eavesdrop. And I was wondering, what kind of stories were you hearing?
I was hearing a lot of stories that were either about someone being in a violent situation, so someone like someone getting kidnapped, or there would be a lot of stories about violence that they were receiving from their partners. So there was one story that I remember that was about one of my mother's good friends was talking about how her husband really wanted her to get pregnant, and she really did not want to get pregnant. And she was hiding her birth control in the house. And her husband just kept taking her to the doctor and just being like, what is wrong? Like, she's not getting pregnant. And she felt like she couldn't say that she didn't feel like she had a say that this was her decision. So she had to hide the pills. So I think as a young girl, there was something about that was so kind of shocking and startling. And I also felt like I didn't want that to happen to me. So I really wanted to figure out what were the systems, like what was going on that she felt like she couldn't have a decision in that,
Which makes me wonder if this is then not connected to something else you also brought up in the interview, where you said, I guess when you were a teen, you really thought that maybe if you were going to work in words, your best option was going to be as a journalist. You couldn't see yourself as a woman being allowed or being able to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And why was that?
I think that I didn't see, women like me writing books. In Colombia, a lot of the ways that people become writers is you go to law school, and because you're a lawyer, then you're making a lot of money, and then that means that you have time to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
But it also creates like this certain type of literature that is very different. And in my family, we didn't grow up reading books, but we were a storytelling family, so I loved stories. But I didn't see how, liking stories being told out loud, I didn't see how that could transfer to anything of value. And the only writing that I would encounter that I felt like I could do would be the newspaper. I could see myself, working for a newspaper and getting stories, and I did see women like me doing that. But I didn't know anybody who wrote books. Most of the writers that I was introduced to at the time were either United States writers and were white, or they were kind of South American men who were from the upper classes, or had this background in law school.